Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you, guys, for joining me this morning, Wednesday, the 13th of August, guys. It is already the Wednesday, the 13th of August. We're literally halfway there in the month, guys. Goodness me, time is flying, of course. And, guys, what a show we got for you. Transfers all round, isn't it, guys? Baleba news, Anthony news, of course, Garnacho news, loads going on at Man United at the moment. And you know what? We have to keep our hats on. We have to keep calm. But this is a very, very busy couple of weeks. Promised to be anyway, guys. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys, if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, let's get straight into it, guys. Manchester United are set to smash their transfer record for Carlos Baleba. Manchester United are willing to pay whatever it takes for Carlos Baleba. Apparently, Man United have had a 300 million windfall and are willing to spend that money wisely on the football team. Of course, Baleba has 112 million price tag on his head. Manchester United are willing to smash their world record. Their record, Manchester United's record for Carlos Baleba, would equal one of the most expensive players in Premier League history, guys. Will be a world record for an African player, and Manchester United are willing to pay the money. Goodness me, guys. I mean, look, at the end of the day, look, you know, I would argue that Man United haven't got many signings. We ain't got enough signings in through the door. We need more. We definitely need more signings. Absolutely, we need more signings. We've only got 3 so far. We get Baleba, that's 4. But that's 4 very, very good players, guys. And I want to ask you guys really honestly, in your honest opinion, right? If at the end of last season, someone told you that we're going to have Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko, and Baleba, would you be happy with that? And you say, what about the goalkeeper? What about the right wing back? Blah, blah, blah. But you say, no, it's just those 4. How would you feel about that? How would you feel about that? And you say, when will we get these players through the door? And you say, we get them just before the deadline of 1st of September. You know, and how would you feel about that? A very honest opinion, because you know what? I know that it's easy to get overly excited. It's easy to get overly negative as well. So I want to know your guys' opinion, because that's what matters at the end of the day. Your guys' opinion, the community, of course, because we are all Manchester United fans at the end of the day, guys. But smashing the record for Carlos Baleba, should Manchester United smash the record for Carlos Baleba? Now, what do I say in regards to this? I've always stayed very consistent with this. If there's a player out there that can change Manchester United's fortunes for the better, long-term, and more financially rewarding in the long run, then go and get that player. Because if Manchester United get Carlos Baleba in and he contributes to Manchester United qualifying for the Champions League, you know, that's going to be financially rewarding for Manchester United, isn't it? And you know what? The money won't seem so much money, you know, later on down the line. You know, you have to invest to get rewards. You know, you have to invest to get rewards. And sometimes you have to take risks. Liverpool are taking risks. Liverpool didn't need to take risks. Liverpool are the champions. They didn't need to take risks. They've taken risks with Florian Wirtz, etc. Frimpong. Man United need to take a risk. Man United have only spent around 200 million. Right? And Liverpool has spent over 400 million. Liverpool, the champions, we came 15th. We need to spend more. We do need to spend more. I've always said over the last couple of years in particular that Manchester United need to spend $500 million in one summer. I can't wait for the day to Man United spend $500 million in one summer. So look, I'm not really worried about the price tag of Baleba. I don't really care as long as they get the player through the door. It's not gonna bother me. The only concern I have is the goalkeeper position. Now, the goalkeeper position is a little bit precarious. Of course, we've had rumours about Donnarumma is out of the question. Of course, this is a bit of a coincidence since Manchester City came into the running. Man United are no longer interested. Ruben Amorim said we're not interested in the goalkeeper. I think this is a big mistake. I think Man United do need a new goalkeeper. You know, even if we bring a young player like Senny Lamens in, I think Man United do need another goalkeeper. Absolutely. I think the goalkeeper is highly underrated. You know, it gets put under the radar. Even when I was growing up as a kid at school, the goalkeeper always used to be the last position, isn't it? No one wanted to be in goal. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I started off as a goalkeeper. I was too short. I didn't grow enough to become a goalkeeper, to be honest with you. But I'm not 6'6", you know what I mean, at the end of the day. So, look, I do think the goalkeeper position is highly underrated. Yes, Man United needed a midfielder. We do need a midfielder. It's pretty evident. It's in particularly over this last couple of friendly games that Man United do need a midfield. We do. And obviously, we got the attack sorted out, and Sesko being up front will make a huge difference. But the goalkeeper is also a big, big issue, guys. When I look at Onana, I get nervous, guys. I do see indecisiveness. I do see anxiety. I feel it. I mean, and you can't help but feel it, because obviously it's not PTSD. It's just what has been happening over the last couple of years. He's cost us dearly over the last couple of years. And we're not overly exaggerating here. We got knocked out of the Champions League because of Onana. We probably lost the Europa League final because of Onana, because Onana went down like a sloth in that final. Obviously, it weren't just his fault. Balls given away, etc., etc., etc. But, bringing a goalkeeper, for me, is still very, very important. I don't think we should shut the door on a goalkeeper. Donnarumma is not over, of course, but now Manchester City have come calling, and Manchester City are going to be primarily focused on just Donnarumma. It does look very, very bleak for Manchester United indeed in regards to bringing Gianluigi Donnarumma to the club. Man United are 100% full throttle on the Carlos Baleba deal, guys. And you know what I would say is that I'll be happy with that, but I'll also be a little bit disappointed that you haven't fixed that goalkeeper position by the start of the season, guys. Absolutely, because I know what has been going on the last couple of years and how many mistakes this guy has made. Statistically, in the Premier League era, factually, Onana is our worst goalkeeper. Given appearances, goals conceded, errors leading to goals, those three stats there, right there, he is the worst goalkeeper in our history in regards to the Premier League, probably one of the worst in our history. And you look at him in training, and he doesn't look very, very confident, does he? It looks like a bit of clowning around and stuff like that. It gives me the air of he don't really take football seriously. It does, and he's no Schmeichel, of course. Of course, Gianluigi Donnarumma will feel a bit aggrieved the way he's been treated at PSG. I feel like he's been treated very unfairly at PSG, having won the Champions League. Is Luis Enrique overcooking it at PSG? Is he thinking too hard? They've just won the Champions League. They won it at a counter. Look, at the end of the day, you can't have players that are similar all over the pitch. You can't have players that are similar over the pitch. And I think that's what Luis Enrique is trying to do. Maybe trying to do the Pep Guardiola thing. And I just don't think... I think that's going to harm him more than it's going to help him, in my opinion. And I think Donnarumma is a fantastic goalkeeper. And Manchester City will be better off with Donnarumma in goal. I think he's the best in the world. Absolutely. Big up everyone in the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome. Hope everyone is blessed. Let me just catch up with some of your comments, of course, guys. Big up, Nook. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Nook Johansson. Good to see you. Saviour, good morning, my friend. How are you doing, brother? I'm more than happy because we said we got Sesko, and we're waiting to sign Baleba and a goalkeeper to complete the signings for the window so that the team can finish in the top four. Saviour, if Man United managed to get a goalkeeper, if Man United obviously added to the fact with Baleba, I think Man United have a very, very good chance next season. Absolutely. Come on, United. Big up, not home. United will rise again. I agree with that statement. Absolutely. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Of course, Brian. Good morning, Brian. How you doing again? Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing blessed, my friend. Hope you're doing blessed. Good morning, Randy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Of course, good to see you again. Big up. Good morning. Good morning, Tyborg. The legend, the myth, Tyborg. Of course. I hope you're doing well, brother. Hope everything is blessed with you, my guy. Of course. Let me just sort this out really quickly. Just need to sort this out. Really, really quickly, of course, guys. Let me just see if I could do this. Here we go. Yeah, I've got to put that on. And put this on as well. So, guys, look, would you smash the record? Would you? Is there anyone opposed to the Baleba deal? Is anyone saying, nah, it's too much money for the Baleba deal? Is there anyone out there thinking that way? Good morning, Denbo. What's going on? Big up Tybo, by the way. Good to see you, legend. Hope you're doing well. Denbo, morning, Sal. Hope you're well, my friend. Very well, my friend. My 45th birthday is on the 30th. Let's hope we can get 2 more players by then. Happy, what is it? How do you say belated? Happy pre-birthday. Happy pre-birthday, my friend. I really hope so, Denbo. And we'll be celebrating on this channel, my friend, if we get those transfers. Make sure you come on the channel and we'll have a little bit of a celebration if it goes well, of course, in the transfer window and stuff like that. Absolutely. Big up, Dembo, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Marky Mark, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Southern community. How are you, my friend? Very well, mate. We will beat Arsenal. Look, listen, I'm very confident about the Arsenal game, but I'm contently confident. If contently is even a word, but I am a little bit apprehensive I'm a little bit, Bruno midfield, stuff like that. But I do believe that Man United will have a good game against Arsenal. I think we'll be prepared for the Arsenal game. Look, the most important thing, I want Man United to win. Of course, I want Man United to win. Man United do not lose that game. We do not lose that game against Arsenal, because that could end up being an absolute morale destroyer. If Man United lose to Arsenal, already we're going to be in the bottom of the sea, in the mud, trying to work our way up in the quicksand. We need to get going quickly. We need to get off to a fantastic start. Beating Arsenal would be like, it'd be an intro to a story, wouldn't it? At the end of the day, and people generally put the book down if the intro is a bad start to the book, of course. So if Man United start the season well, anything is possible, of course, guys. Anything is possible this season. We beat Fulham. We beat Burnley. You never know what's going to happen. Big up Marky Mark. Benny Moran, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed with you. Irfan, good morning. Yes, for Carlos Baleba, big pay money. I don't care. Carlos Baleba, here we go. Big up, my friend. Tybug, I would be very happy with these 4 signs, to be honest. We need more, but 1 window is not enough. 2 or 3 windows needed. But for me, 1 window, this is a trick. I think even 2 windows, Tybog. I do think that. But I do feel you've been here with me this season, last season, Tybog, and you know what happened with Onana. And you could be the best team in the world, right? But you're not going to win every single game 4-0. I would say, and it could be 0-0 or 1-0 to Man United with 92nd minute free kick to, let's say, Everton or a team like that. Free kick comes in the box. Onana comes out to catch it, slips out of his hand, open net, 1-1. That's what a bad goalkeeper can do, no matter who you got in your team. We've had Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Andy Cole, Dwight York, Mark Hughes, Brian Robson in our team in the past. And we've had games where they've been really difficult. In a treble winning season, we played games against the likes of Charlton and Leeds, and we found it very difficult. You're not going to win every game 4-0. But what happened is that the goalkeeper kept us in that game a lot of times. Peter Schmeichel is so underrated, what Peter Schmeichel did at Man United, by the way. What he did in 98, 99. I know, because he signed for, obviously, Manchester City. People are a little bit upset with that. But he saved us on numerous amounts of times. Absolutely. So look, a little bit of news coming in about Anthony. Manchester United are relaxed in regards to Anthony. Manchester United, of course, are looking to sell Anthony. Anthony wants to move to Real Betis, who he was on loan with last season. But Real Betis do not want to pay the money. The transfer window ends on the 1st of September, guys. The 1st of September. But Man United are relaxed because the Saudi Arabian window closes on the 12th of September. So Manchester United are pretty happy to wait their time to sell him to Saudi Arabia. So if Betis don't pay up the money, Man United are willing to sell Anthony to Saudi Arabia. Of course, Anthony has reluctantly accepted the proposition from Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks ago, as we mentioned in this show, and he won't be opposed to going to Saudi Arabia. So the Saudi Arabian window closes on the 12th of September, and obviously Anthony does not want to play for Manchester United. So you know what, it would be better if he does leave. Chelsea are ready to submit a new bid for Garnacho. This could be the bid that sends it over the line, and Garnacho signing for Chelsea. Of course, it doesn't make business sense. It's impractical to keep Garnacho at the football club. Even though I love him to work in the reserves, it'd be even better if Man United get the money for him. If they get 50-odd million euros, I think that would be great for Man United, and they can reinvest that into the team, and we just forget about it. Look, Garnacho's no problem to me, because I know that Garnacho doesn't mean anything to Man United, so it doesn't mean anything to me. Whatever he says, let him just brush it off, because he doesn't mean anything to Man United. He's just a pip in the ocean when it comes to Man United and their history. He's just a mouth. And at the end of the day, and that's what we have to say, So I don't really care what Garnacho says. Garnacho's leaving the football club. Sayonara Tara, as I always say. Of course, he's going to go to Chelsea. Man United get the money, happy days. Full profit as well, because obviously he's a homegrown player. So you know what, I'm happy that he's just going to be leaving the football club. To be fair, I'm happy about that. Of course, absolutely. Saviour, big up Tybog. Saviour, happy to see you, sir. Good to see you as well, my friend. Enjoy your show a lot, and God continue blessing you, man. Man U for life. Come on, brother. This season will be different to last season. Top 4 for Man United. Meaning Kachalu, meaning Man U to the world. Come on, Kachalu, Man United, Kachalu, Man United, Kuchalu, Man United, my friend. Big up. I'm going to remember that. Kuchalu. Man United to the world. Absolutely. That is what it is. That is what we have to remember that. We are the biggest club in the world, guys. Never underestimate Manchester United. Obviously, what Fabrizio Romano said. Big up, Saviour. Good to see you every day, my friend. Brian, yeah, definitely Sal. He's that midfield player we're looking for. We definitely need to spend more. Look, at the end of the day, Man United, the funny thing I've noticed about Man United fans is that, you know what, when we see the money, we're like, ooh, it's a bit like us, isn't it? It's a bit like it's our money. It's like it's our money. Well, it is technically, but I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things, like not 112 million is not ours, not mine individually or anything like that. But when we look at the money, it's like we're going in our own pocket to say here's 112 million. Man United should be breaking the record. For goodness sake, we came 15th last season. We need to go absolutely mad this summer. I said it at the end of last season. We have to go mad. We have to go ham. We have to go bonkers in this transfer window. Because at the end of the day, Man United came 15th and Man United lost the Europa League final to Tottenham, the one of the worst Tottenham sides I've ever seen in my life. That should have been an embarrassment. Every single one of those players should have been sacked. You know, I don't even care. You know, I was feeling so down in the dumps, guys. If you scroll back to the Europa League final, man, I was so annoyed. I was absolutely fuming, guys. And, you know, I just wanted to turn off the stream. I couldn't take it. I really couldn't. Absolutely. Big up, Brian. Good to see you again, of course. I've just heard Donnarumma wants to go to City South. Yeah, of course he does. I mean, as I said, you snooze, you lose in this game, Brian. And if Man United could have made a bid a few weeks ago, obviously, what I don't like about Man City, they've just signed James Trafford, who's a very good goalkeeper. Now they're going after Donnarumma. You know, it really annoys me because I have the feeling that Manchester City just sign players so that no one else can sign them. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. They always do. They did it with Naipan, as we know. Loads of teams around Europe wanted Naipan. Very good youngster. What do? They bring in Naipan. They send him on loan. You know what they do? This should not be allowed. They do these things so other teams don't sign them. They see that Man United might sign Donnarumma. They're like, oh, you know what? That's going to fix Man United. That's going to make Man United very good if they sign Donnarumma and Baleba. Look, you know what? We better sign Donnarumma so they don't get him. They've just signed James Trafford. They've got Edison. Edison hasn't left the football club at the moment. You know, it does drive me mad. It really does. Scumbag team, of course. Sugar daddy team. Dabby says Trafford would be wondering what the hell did he do? Join Man United? Absolutely. Why did he do that, mate? He should have joined. It's in his name, Trafford. He should have joined Man United, Old Trafford. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, you know, bring at the Old Trafford, bring in the new Trafford. You know what I would say is that, yeah, look, you know, Man City are scumbags. Absolute scumbags. They do it. They see a player, a young player, or a player that is generational who's available, like Donnarumma, and they say, take him before someone else takes him. Now, Donnarumma is not a Man United fan, but Donnarumma respects Man United. Donnarumma wanted to move to Manchester United. Let me tell you that. Before Manchester City came in with an offer. Of course, once Man City come in with an offer, then Man United are in a little bit of a position. So Man United have to distance themselves from the offer because Man United are not prepared to put an offer in for Donnarumma, considering that they're going after Carlos Baleba at the moment. This is the thing, isn't it? So obviously Gianluigi Donnarumma is not going to wait around for Manchester United. Absolutely not. He's not a Man United fan. So he's not going to be waiting around for Man United. What he's going to do is say, okay, Man City, Premier League, Champions League, let's go to Man City. And that's what's going to happen, you know, and that is he's definitely going to go to Man City. I really do feel like before Man City were not in the talk. They were not involved in negotiations with Donnarumma. Man United inquired about Donnarumma, but didn't make the move, right? They inquired, but didn't make it. So they were in talks with him. They were in talks with the club about Donnarumma. So Man United had representatives talking to PSG, but they didn't make the move. You snooze, you lose at the end of the day. So if Man United made a move when they done that meeting, then probably we would have got Donnarumma, of course. Good morning, Kenny. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. We need a wing back in the transfer window. Next transfer, we do. Look, there's a couple of positions that Man United still need to fix. Of course, the wing back position. Some may argue that we still need a centre back. Obviously, there are rumours about Upamecano coming out this last 48 hours. I mean, Upamecano basically is the French Harry Maguire. I would not go after Upamecano. I'll go nowhere near Upamecano. We don't need that. We got Aiden Heaven. We got Lenny Yoro. We got Licha Martinez. We got De Ligt. We got Mazraoui. We got Harry Maguire. Why do we need Upamecano? It's just going to be a waste of time, a waste of money, in my humblest of opinion, guys. So I don't think Man United are going to be going after a defender at the moment. I really don't. Maybe in the next window, Man United might be going after the defender, but right now, I just don't think we're going to be in that position to be financially ready to go after the defender. Man United needed a midfielder, a goalkeeper. Those two positions there have to be sorted, because if you get the goalkeeper and you get Baleba, that's the spine of the team completely fixed. And that has been the problem over the number of years, of course, with Man United. It's been the spine, and you can't win anything without a good spine, of course. Dembo. I love playing in goal when I was a prime Jim Leighton in the 80s. Big up Jim Leighton, of course. Jim Leighton was removed from Manchester United by Alex Ferguson. I think he made a couple of mistakes in one final against Crystal Palace, if I'm not wrong. My first ever game, guys, was Crystal Palace at Wembley. My first final I went to, Man United against Crystal Palace, way back in 1990. Went to 2 games, guys, 3-3. Went to 2 games. Jim Leighton, basically what happened is that Jim Leighton made a few mistakes and stuff, and Alex Ferguson felt that he wasn't the right goalkeeper. This is what I'm talking about, ruthlessness. This is ruthlessness. No matter how good a goalkeeper is, no matter how long he's been at the football club, he's not the right goalkeeper for me. I need a good man between the sticks. And you know what? I'm going to get a new goalkeeper in. And obviously, lo and behold, in came Peter Schmeichel a couple of years or so later, isn't it? So, you know what? Peter Schmeichel ended up becoming a legend at Man United, of course. Big up, Dembo. If not a mistake at all, we don't need Donnarumma at all, but we will sign a young guy towards the end of the season. I hope fun show that Man United get Senny Lamens, because I personally believe that Senny Lamens is going to be the future goalkeeper, the future star of goalkeeping in Premier League, in world football. I really do think that, and I think he's a generational, in my opinion. There's no one in Europe right now who I rate as highly as Senny Lamens in regards to his age. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. I think he's domineering. He can play with his feet. He's good at shot stopping. He's a very good goalkeeper, guys. And Man United, he's cheap as well. Man United could possibly do that move by the end of the window. Although I'm looking at it now in a way that realistically, the time is going, guys. Look, 1st of September, we are now on the 13th of August. Can Man United somehow muster the ability to get a goalkeeper and a midfielder in there? Because that is the very bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. If we get a midfielder and we get a goalkeeper, for me, that's the minimum. That is what Man United need, because 2 of the biggest problems at Man United are the goalkeeper, goalkeeper, midfield, and striker. Those are the 3 problems at Man United. And look, we got 2 of them so far if we get Baleba, but we need to get a goalkeeper as well. Absolutely. We can't just ignore it, of course. Absolutely. We want Baleba. It is our money, and Glazinius must spend it. Absolutely agree with that. Marky Mark, you're completely right, my friend. We need a goalkeeper at least. I don't rate Onana, guys. When I see Onana, I get the feeling of nerves. I get nervous, guys. I just think that he's prone to mistake, and he's at that age now where you can't teach him new tricks. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't change the spots on a leopard. He's that goalkeeper who's prone to mistakes. I remember a goalkeeper called David James, who used to play for Liverpool. Very good goalkeeper. Physique, speed, good with his feet, but was prone to a mistake, and big mistakes as well. He will make the most amazing saves that you've never seen in your life. You think, wow, what a save. And then he'll come up and do some ridiculous mistakes. I remember a game against Man United, maybe about 1997, I think it was. I think that it was it Palestine scored a couple of goals, if I'm not wrong. But man, he came out for a cross, missed it, and Andy Cole just nodded it into the corner of the net, guys. I remember loads of mistakes from David James. And, you know, a goalkeeper is the difference between 3 points and a point. You know what I mean? 0-0 and a loss. And how many times over last season were we 0-0, with about a few minutes to go, and we can see the goal and lose 1-0, and he makes a mistake or something like that. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? That we're not going to go. Big up, Marky Mark, you legend. Good to see you, of course. Brian, that's true, mate. Trafford to City, then Donnarumma comes in. That's a slap in the face. Absolutely, Brian Moran. And this should not be allowed in Premier League football, in world football, that players could, like, you know, Man City just sign a player for the sake of signing a player, you know, just so that Man United can't get him. You just signed James Trafford. Give the lad a chance. He's an England international. He's in the England squad, right? And then you're going to ruin his career. How many games realistically? Look, guys, if Donnarumma goes to City, how many games realistically is James Trafford going to get? You know he's going to play in the League Cup here and there, and you know, maybe the FA Cup here and there. Do you know what I mean? Guys, in regards to the League Cup, the draw will be made. I think it's today in regards to the League Cup. The first time Manchester United have been drawn in the second round of the League Cup since 2014. And we all know what happened then. It was one of Louis van Gaal's first games at Man United. Man United lost 4-0 to MK Dons. We remember that, don't we? Manchester United will be drawn into the Carabao Cup second round for the first time since 2014, guys. I mean, look, hopefully it's not a bad omen. And hopefully Man United get a good team in the draw. Hopefully they get Leyton Orient, which is, I don't know what happened Leyton Orient last night, but, hopefully they get them because that's my local club. Of course, they never played them. Timo, good morning, you legend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Have a good day. Let's go, Baleba. Come on, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you in the chat, of course. Hope you have a fantastic day, my guy. Done and dusted. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. I'm still scarred by Onana. Big season, big reason, no Champions League. That's 100 million gone. Big reason, no Europa League failure. Absolutely. No Champions League, another 100 million lost. Plus, he cost 45 million. He is one of the expensive fella. He's pound for pound the worst goalkeeper that Man United have had in Premier League history. Pound for pound. Goals needed the mistakes. Goals conceded. All that business, and pound for pound the worst. Look it up on ChatGTP and or on Twitter, on Grok. Look it up. The worst goalkeeper in Premier League history, statistically, is Andre Onana. When you're looking at his appearances over 5 games and stuff like that, we can't bring in obviously Taibbi to the equation because Taibbi only played 5 games for Man United, and he had a good game against Liverpool, to be fair. But you know what I would say is that. He is, and Man United needed to sign a new goalkeeper. Unfortunately, it doesn't look that way at the moment. Although football can change day by day, week by week, football can change, but we haven't got weeks now. We've got a couple of weeks, but we haven't got that many. As we had. Time flies, of course. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Plus a right wing back. Man United do need a specialist right wing back. I do agree with that. And this is why a lot of people are jumping ahead and saying that this will be a 10 out of 10 window if we get Baleba. It's not going to be a 10 out of 10 window. We signed 4 players. That's nowhere near enough what we need. Of course, it's going to be a huge improvement to what we had. But 4 players for me is nowhere near good enough. I think Man United needed a lot more than that, my friend. Absolutely. And a right wing back is one of those positions. Dalot is not good enough for me. I would argue that with anyone. I think he's positionally naive. I don't think he's good at attacking. He can't cross the ball. He's nervous. He's a passion merchant. He's a passion merchant. Bangs his chest. Great personality. Great person. Great to have around the place. But as a footballer, I don't think he's what we need. Man United needed for this system. Let me give you an example. Man United needed a Carfu sort of player. A Carfu, that type of player. That's what Man United needed in this system. Unfortunately, we don't have that. I would also bring it to the point that Ahmad is a good player to play against the lesser teams in the Premier League. I think a little bit Ahmad is a good player. I don't think he's anywhere near the levels that we need, though. I'll be honest with you. I think that he's a little bit lightweight. He can't cross the ball. He's a bit predictable, cuts inside and that. But hopefully he has a good season next season. And, I'm a bit worried about the defensive side of things. He's not a defender. He never has been a defender. He weren't at Sunderland. He weren't at Glasgow Rangers. He weren't in the youth team, at Atalanta. He was not a defender, of course. So there you go. Ciao, good morning. I have no confidence in Onana. He's starting against Arsenal. Yeah, he will start against Arsenal. Brian Moran, Sal, I don't remember any keeper as bad as Onana. There's not. Statistically, there's not. If you look it up, statistically, Onana is the worst goalkeeper in Manchester United's history. There's no sugarcoating that. There's no hiding away from that, guys. Absolutely not. Absolutely. Facts are facts at the end. Big up, Coco. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you again, of course. Hey, Maya, what's going on? Maya Restaurant, good to see you. If we get Baleba and not a goalkeeper, I think it will be okay, as there will be less pressure on our goal. What do you think? I agree with that, Maya. There will be less pressure on the goal, but I give you a scenario in regards to football. Football has a habit of slapping you on the face. Give you an example, right? We may not have as much pressure on the goal, right? But let's say this scenario here. It's a free kick. Man United are 1-0 up against Everton. I don't want to use Everton. I'm not picking on Everton, but 1-0 up against Everton. There's a foul. Which could happen? There's a foul just by the corner flag. The cross comes in. Onana comes on the ball. Mistake. Kicked in a goal. 1-1. Now, you could dominate a game for 90 minutes and the ball just might not go in the back of the net for you. It might not go in the back of the net for you. So when it gets to 5 minutes to go and you're 1-0 up, you need confidence. You need a guy who's going to calm you down. A goalkeeper who's going to grab that ball, calm down, and be relaxed. We got an erratic goalkeeper. When we're 1-0 up, he's like all over the place. He's nervous. He's a nervous wreck. You know what I mean? Like a bad flyer, like a nervous flyer. He's all fidgety and stuff like that. This is what he is. And I worry about those mistakes in moments in games. In moments in games, It's not necessarily the big picture of the game. It's moments. And moments is what define you in games. And when I think about the great Man United sides, what I was raised on, I think about moments. Moments that Schmeichel saved us. You know, I'm thinking about the Champions League final, for example, you know, in 1999, the times that Schmeichel saved us. Raymond van der Sar, you know, Edwin van der Sar, the Champions League final in 2008. Moments, saving that penalty. Moments, you know. Things like that remind, you know, is what I think about a goalkeeper in particular, is moments that a goalkeeper gives you. David De Gea, the game against Arsenal, when he could have saved the Titanic, moments. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And what I would say is that Onana is giving us, the only moments that Onana is giving us at the moment is bad moments, is PTSD moments. Absolutely. Big up, Maya. It's good to see you, though, in the chat. Good to see you, of course. Benny. Ultimately, if we don't get a keeper, it will cost us big time. I said it before, no use scoring when we can't keep the ball out of the other set. And that, you're absolutely right, Brian, Benny. And this comes from a place of experience, guys, a place of 40 years of watching football. I've seen when Schmeichel left the football club, how we struggled to replace Peter Schmeichel in goal until we got Van der Sar in goal, which we should have done way before we went to Juventus and Fulham. We should have got Van der Sar in goal. We struggled with Tim Howard, with Valdez, with Tim, who else? Barthez, of course, Carroll, of course. We even had Van der Hau in goal, of course. Back then, Mark Bosnich was in goal as well. We had a lot of goalkeepers between the sticks at Man United between that time, guys. I mean, Lindegaard. I mean, a lot of goalkeepers until we got, obviously, Van der Sar. And he ended up being that goalkeeper that we were crying out for, a domineering, a confident goalkeeper who settles down the defense. When you have a good goalkeeper as a defender, when you got a good goalkeeper behind you, you know, and a goalkeeper's telling you, right? A goalkeeper as well, let me point this out as well. A goalkeeper as well, he will give instructions to the defense. He will tell the defense, push up. Sorry, I'm going to break my mic. Push up. He will tell the defense to go like that. He will give orders. Onana's just like this. I pass it to the left, I pass it to the right, I pass it to the front. You know what I mean? It's not like Cristiano Ronaldo where he plays on the left, he plays on the right. That boy Cristiano Ronaldo makes England look, it rhymes with that. Onana he passes to the left, he passes to the right. That goalkeeper Onana is effing absolutely. And that is what it is at the end of the day. And you know what? Yeah, I would say that I'm not looking forward to him next season. I'm not looking forward to Onana ball next season. Absolutely not. Big up, Benny. Chandiga, good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Hope you're well, brother. Hope you're good. Good to see you again. Big up, Ephraim. How you doing? Good afternoon, Sal. Is it true that Amarim wants Onana to stay? Look, Amarim doesn't want Onana to stay. Let me tell you something about this, Ephraim. Amarim doesn't want Onana to stay. But what can he do? What can he do? He can't turn around and say, I want Onana at this football club. I don't want him playing for this football club anymore. Because if he says that, what's that going to do to Onana before the Arsenal game? So obviously, I called him the smiling assassin. That's what Ruben Amorim is. Every manager has to be smart. You know, you can't be naive in regards to bringing down players before a massive game against Arsenal is not really practical. So what you have to say is that, yes, we believe in Onana. I want Onana to stay. We like Onana. But behind the scenes, they've been working on getting him out of the football club. But then I think at the moment, what Man United are doing, this is why we want Onana to stay thing is coming out, because they're coming to the realization that we might not get a goalkeeper. This is what I'm thinking. I'm reading in between the lines. I'm coming to the realization that we might not get a goalkeeper. Of course, I mean, I heard rumors last week that Onana was a little bit disillusioned, disgruntled in regards to Man United are looking for a new goalkeeper. I mean, is he not self-aware? Is he not aware where we are as a football club? As a goalkeeper, is he not aware of himself, self-awareness? You know, I just don't think that guy's serious. He's not a Manchester United goalkeeper. He's not a Manchester United goalkeeper. I would argue that with anyone. I'm a Baleba. We're all a Baleba. Are you a Baleba, Milton? I'm a Baleba, definitely. Big up Baleba. Big up Milton. Good to see you, mate. Big up Randall. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you. And Fanactivate, the legend. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Shout out everybody. Big up Fanactivate. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you again. And Coco, smash the like buttons. Smash that record. If he performs, we will be called brilliant. If not, it wouldn't be the first time. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Big up Coco. Brian Moran, no, it's not too much that the market now, and we have to pay big to get the best. Absolutely, mate. This is life at the end of the day. You have to pay the best. You have to invest. That is what it is. Someone said on the chat, it was a Tottenham fan who came on the chat the other day, and he said it right. In the measure of inflation, when you look at inflation, this amount of money is about right. It's about 30 million back in the late 90s, something like that, early 2000s. It's about 30 million that Man United are going to pay. And Man United happily did that back in the day. They happily spend the money. When you have to spend the money, you have to spend the money. We spent the money on Wayne Rooney. And back then, when we signed Wayne Rooney for 30-odd million, 39 million, I think it was, something like that, it was an astronomical amount of money back then. Like, wow, you're paying this much money for a teenager. My goodness me. Nowadays, we're like, 30 million, what's that? Garnacho, 30 million, what's that? No way, we're not going to sell him for 30 million. You're having a laugh, ain't you? Football has changed, inflation and stuff like that. So if you want the best, pay the money. I'm telling Man United right now, if you want Baleba, he's the guy, get the player. Give Ruben Amorim a fighting chance this season. Give him a fighting chance, because that midfield is absolutely down in the dumps, guys. It's absolutely finished, that midfield is, and we need to fix it up, guys. And Baleba will be a huge part of that. Of course, I'm concerned about Bruno. I am concerned about Bruno, number 8 position. I will continue to be concerned about Bruno. But I hope, in my heart of hearts, that he comes good and he brings the ball forward and he brings it to the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha. Because the biggest concern that I had the other day against Fiorentina was the fact that Bruno would get the ball and he'll play these hero balls to Mbeumo and Cunha, and that is not Mbeumo and Cunha's game. These long balls are not Mbeumo and Cunha's game. You need to get that ball and pass it to feet. Pass it to feet. Mbeumo and Cunha need that ball to feet. They don't need these long, huge hero balls. You know what I mean? That Mbeumo, like, what the hell is this? I didn't even get this at Brentford. Do you know what I mean? Man United do need to, Bruno does need to fix up in regards to that. Davies asks, definitely, let's make him the most expensive deal for an African player in Premier League history. That's what we need to do. No pressure on the lad. We don't want to put any pressure before he's even signed for Man United. But he will be, of course. And I've seen some great African players in my time. One of my favourite African players of all time was George Weah, of course, who played for AC Milan. Ended up going to Chelsea. Didn't really have a good stint at Chelsea, but one of my favourite players of all time. When I was a kid growing up, it was all about George Weah. George Weah. What a player that guy is. I remember him taking the ball from the defence in AC Milan and taking all the team on and burying it in the corner. What a player he was, you know. And I think he was one of the world record back then. I think he had the world record back then. And, and so it's no mean feat. You become the most expensive African player of all time. Zinedine Zidane was technically African. He was Algerian, played for France, was very expensive as well, of course. But yeah, there you go. Chandinga, I prefer Lamens, but I'm not sure if it can happen because Baleba will cost a lot of money. You're absolutely right, Chandinga. This is exactly what it is. I think it's not only about the money. It depends on what Man United, who Man United sell, of course, who Man United get at the football club. But I do believe that the players that Man United are going to sell are going to be reinvested into Baleba. And it's not only the money. I think that the time is ticking. Man United's time is ticking. We're getting shorter and shorter every single day. And this Baleba deal is not going to be easy, guys. It's going to take another week. To be honest with you, we will get progress this week, of course. We will get some news this week, hopefully. Man United will have some kind of positivity, some kind of progress into the deal. But this deal won't be finished. I'll give it another couple of weeks, to be honest with you. I think that because Man United are going to probably get their first bid rejected. Brighton will come out with another valuation, and Man United will come out with another bid. And you know how slow we are at the end of the day, isn't it? Irfan, for a goalkeeper is very needed. Man United were world class. We still don't have a sin one. Big up, I get you, Irfan. Man United do need a goalkeeper. I agree. It would be a big miss if we don't get a goalkeeper. Baleba is not only a signing, it's an investment. Absolutely, Randy, for the future. Look, at the end of the day, exactly what you're saying there, Randy. People will look at it and say, oh my goodness me, 100 million. But you look at it and you think, how many places can Baleba bring us up that table? Baleba is the difference between finishing 8th and finishing 3rd. Let me tell you that. He's that good. He's that good. He's the difference maker. He's the game changer, guys. So if Man United get Baleba, he could obviously help us earn more money than he's actually worth. 100 million. Get in the Champions League, get Baleba, we get in the Champions League. There's his price right there paid off. You know what I mean? And then obviously you make more money. You attract more players. You get better and better like that. Sometimes you just have to invest. Liverpool have done it. Liverpool didn't need Florian Wirtz. They were the champions already. They got Florian Wirtz, and I don't like to bring Liverpool, but this is a perfect example about progressing and keep improving. If there was any criticism about Man United back after the 98-99 season, is that Man United did not improve. Roy Keane once said, right, is that, you know, when Man United won the treble, we didn't go out and buy a couple of more brilliant players, world-class players. We lost Peter Schmeichel. We didn't replace him sufficiently. There were goalkeepers out there who are very, very good. Man United should have, when Man United lost Peter Schmeichel, Man United should have looked at Oliver Kahn. Man United should have looked at Gianluigi Buffon. Man United should have looked at all these goalkeepers rather than keeping, you know, even back then, you know, rather than just buying stopgap goalkeepers or getting Van der Hau in goal and stuff like that, you know. Jack, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Why are you worried about the price of Baleba? So what if we spend big? It's not your money. I'm not worried. I've told you already, Jack. I'm not worried about the price of Baleba. I actually think that Man United should spend the money. It's not our money. It is our money technically, Jack. I would say that, but not 112 million isn't my money. It isn't your money, but it is the Manchester United fans' money. It is, because without the fans, we have no money. Without the organic growth of Man United with the fans, there is no money, and that is a fact. But listen, I don't care if we spend the money. I'm not bothered. Man United need to spend the money, Jack. They need to spend the money. That's the thing. Man United came 15th last season. We lost the Europa League final embarrassingly to Tottenham. One of the worst Tottenham teams I've ever said. I repeat, you know, I couldn't believe what I was seeing in the Europa League final, you know. So Man United need to spend the money. I don't care about the money. I really don't. I didn't care when we bought Rooney. I didn't care when we bought Rio Ferdinand. As long as it fixes Man United's team. As long as it fixes Man United's team, I don't give a flying rat's backside about it, to be honest with you. Because you know what? It's all about Man United. And what we do in the pitch is ultimately the most important thing. Big up, Jack. Benny, pay the Baleba now or we will miss out, or pay a lot more when the next season. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And not only that, if Baleba has another good season next season, we all know that a lot of other teams are going to be in for him because there's a lot more time for them to prepare a bid and stuff like that. And not only Premier League teams, the likes of Real Madrid, the likes of PSG, they're going to be in for Carlos Baleba, Barcelona. And that is when their head is going to be turned, isn't it? Their head's going to turn. They're going to think, Real Madrid, you know, you can't take that risk. So get the player through the door now. Get him through the door. And you know what? We will be winning at the end of the day. Philip, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. We ain't ready, and we need another few weeks to get up to speed. I fear Arsenal would destroy us. Keep calm, and we will get it, in my opinion. I don't think Arsenal would destroy us, Philip. I would say that against Arsenal is generally when Man United kind of thrive. It's the other games I'm worried about, Philip. You know, the Fulhams of this world, the Burnleys of this world. I think Man United proved last season that they could defeat Arsenal even with 10 men when we played at the Emirates and won on penalties, even with the referee against us, of course. I'm not worried about Arsenal. That's not the game I worry about. I worry about the other games, you know what I mean? The other games, you know, Burnleys of this world, the Fulhams of this world, where Man United have come unstuck. Look, I think if Man United avoid defeat against Arsenal, I wouldn't be downhearted. If we get a draw, I wouldn't be absolutely down on the dumps. I think, okay, we avoided defeat. We go into the next one. We beat Fulham. We beat Burnley. And that wouldn't be a bad start to the season. I personally feel like we could beat Arsenal with Sesko, with Cunha, and with Mbeumo. Guys, I've got my match preview tomorrow. Don't forget to join me for that. It's going to be a great show. It's a new match preview show, of course, guys, absolutely. Can't wait to bring it to you tomorrow, of course. Big up Philip, by the way. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Ephraim, Sal, will you have to sign a goalkeeper? It will help the confidence of the defense. I agree with that. This is the whole thing, isn't it? And from the back, it affects the whole team, doesn't it? APM, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Get Baleba and cheap Lamens this summer. Come on, APN. Come on. I would love that, my friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up Randy. Big up Irfan. Man United need world-class goalkeepers still. I agree. Big up Milton. Maybe Baleba times 9 plus seems to be a good value. I think it is good value. I think it is. Well, for what it could do to Manchester United with Baleba, with Senny Lamens, what that can do for Man United is it cannot be underestimated. It can't be understated. It is incredibly a game changer. I said it again, a game changer. Man United signed Baleba, Man United signed a goalkeeper. It's going to be an absolute game changer, in my opinion. I don't think this Premier League are ready for that. Even if we sign Baleba on its own, it's still, it's good. But you know what? The goalkeeper situation, it creates anxiety throughout the whole team. It's anxiety throughout the whole team. Let me see. My hair's just going over here. Let me put my hair at the back. Put that hair. Bloody hell. Good thing I still got hair, though, isn't it? At the end of the day. Benny, unfortunately, Onana has a mistake in him every game going into the season with a new club. It's a must. And this is the thing, Benny. I almost feel like we have to start the game 1-0 down. I almost feel like Man United have to start the game 1-0 down because there's certain players in that team that are not that good, to be honest with you. Absolutely. And I think that it just feels that way. And he's always prone to mistake. You're always watching a game and thinking, you know what, is he going to make a mistake? Is he going to do some bozo moment and stuff like that? This is not an attack on Onana show. We're just talking about what needs to be done at Man United, for us to improve. Onana's not an absolute terrible goalkeeper, the worst goalkeeper in the world, but he's not an elite goalkeeper. He's not a Man United goalkeeper. He's an Everton goalkeeper. He's that type of goalkeeper. An Everton goalkeeper, probably a Southampton goalkeeper around that area. He could probably go to France and play for Marseille. He probably could do a goalkeeper like that. He's not a Man United goalkeeper. And that's what I would say. Absolutely. And that's no offense, of course. We've had great goalkeepers. Marky Mark, everyone hit the like button, subscribe button, please. Thank you so much, Marky Mark. You're an absolute diamond, my friend. I hope you're having a fantastic morning so far, my friend. And I hope you have a great day as well, of course, my friend. Absolutely good to see you every single day. You're lighting up the day, my friend. You're lighting up the day. Satish, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hi, Sal. We desperately, big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. We desperately need Baleba, as he is an anchor in my field. Absolutely. A beast of a player who can help us dominate games. A true Keen Vieira Skulls. Come on, mate. Type of player that we are missing. Absolutely agree with that, my friend. Spot on, mate. You said it right there. A game changer. Patrick Vieira was a game changer at Arsenal. Roy Keane was a game changer at Man United. That type of midfield. That type of a Scholes type player, as you said there. A player, a generational player who can just make that difference. There's not many players out there like that anymore. So what are we waiting for? Spend the money, be successful. What football is all about is being successful at the end of the day. Spend the money and be successful. And that's what Man United are hopefully going to do, of course. Absolutely. Look, it's not need enough. We still need a goalkeeper. We do. We still need a goalkeeper, but it is what it is at the moment. Hopefully, we can squeeze one before the end of the season. Onana increased my blood pressure again. He should pay my medical bills, that Randy. Luckily, the UAE has insurance because Onana cost me a lot of blood pressure increase. Of course, I had to get a bloody blood pressure machine just to measure my... I should, guys, what I should do, right? On the first game of the season, I should have my blood pressure machine on and just analyze it. And every time Onana gets the ball, you'll see my blood pressure going up, mate. You know what I mean? Goodness me. My earlier comment, big up, Jack. I hope you're doing well. I did read out your earlier comment, mate. I did read out your earlier comment. Big up, Jack. Hope you're well. Ephraim, big up yourself. It was a good point as well, Jack, you made, but obviously I can't remember exactly what I said. So do you think Baleba deal will drag on to deadline? Yes, I think it will, close to deadline date at least, of course. Tyberg, I am afraid Onana will destroy our watch-alongs again, just like he did last season. We remember it, Tyberg, under the watch-alongs. We remember what happened, didn't we, with Onana? We were being confident, giddy and stuff like that, playing well. And then Onana will come out with a slap with a salmon in the face and he'll make a mistake. This is the problem, isn't it? At the end of the day, when I think about Onana, I'm watching the game, and I'm getting a slap in the face every single time because we could be doing well, starting the game, all confident. I remember how many times did we say, we're playing well here, we're doing it right here, and then he makes some howler, and then we're like, oh, for goodness sake. And then from then, you're obviously going against the grain. The game is bad, confidence is low, morale's low. It cannot be overstated how a mistake from a goalkeeper, mistakes in general, big mistakes that lead to goals, can demoralize the confidence of the team, the morale of the team. It's very hard to come back from big mistakes. Very hard to come back from big mistakes, as we know, and it's just like a upward hill from then. Big up Tyborg, legend, of course. Like Darwin Núñez and others, Anthony would be a big payday in Saudi, better than hanging around in training. He definitely should go there. Anthony with Anthony, of course, only wants to go to Betis, but obviously Man United know that the window closes on the 1st of September. The backup plan, the contingency plan, if Betis do not want to pay the money, is for Anthony to go to Saudi Arabia. Their window closes on the 12th of September. So we got just under 2 weeks after the close of the European transfer deadline, of course, for Anthony to leave to go to Saudi Arabia. Don't bet against that. That could quite possibly happen, of course, guys. That could quite possibly happen. Chelsea, however, are dragging this out, hoping that Man United show their hand in regards to the price that they valued Garnacho at. Chelsea are preparing another bid for Garnacho and are dragging it out. So Man United might be in a desperate situation where they need to sell, because Garnacho has already come out and said, look, I'm not going to play. I'm just going to sit down in the reserves and that's it, and I don't care. So what Man United need to do, exactly what someone said on the chat yesterday, is put Garnacho on the bench at Man United. Don't play him. Make him train, right? And then, you know what? And that's what they should do. And if he refuses to play, fine him. Absolutely. Big up, Jack. Onana equals a... I get you, mate. Big up, Jack, my friend. Big up, my friend. Good to see you. Onana is a nice guy. He even smiled when picking the ball out of the back of the net. I mean, nice guys finish last at the end of the day. I don't care if he's a nice guy. I would rather Onana be an absolute prat and be a winner and keep the ball out of the back of the net. I would rather him do that, to be honest with you. We famously had players in our football team who didn't get on with each other, namely Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham. No one cared. They were successful. No one cared. It's not all about being nice and being buddies, slap-handed, banging the chest. It's not about that. I mean, how many players at Man United banged the bloody chest? They didn't. They just concentrated on bloody winning that game, putting the ball in the back of the net, goalkeeper keeping the ball at the back of the net. That's what Man United concentrated on back in the day. But nowadays, it's like, oh, you know what? He's a good lad. He's a nice guy. It's like Dalot, isn't it? It's like Dalot. It's like Onana. Oh, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. It's good to have around the place. It's like a nice little atmosphere. It's not Big Brother. This is Manchester United Football Club. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Randy. Absolutely. Austin, good morning. We are coming to win the league. Trust me. Come on, ask Austin. Austin. Oh, did you see my prediction for the league? I mean, you scroll back a couple of games ago. I did predict Man United to win the league if we get Baleba and a goalkeeper. Guys, I think if Man United don't get a goalkeeper, it's going to be difficult. APN. I prefer Lamens first this window and Costa next season. I don't like Donnarumma, in my opinion. Big up APN. I don't know why. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. World class. Big up Randy. Big up E from Doctor. Big up. Absolutely. Milton. They have Edison and Trafford would end up with 3 goalkeepers, which doesn't make sense. Milton, you know why? For them, it's basically like, we want to stop Man United signing the best goalkeeper in the world. That's basically what it is. It's just like when they got Naipan. We want to stop Man United and other football teams signing one of the best young players in the world. That is what they do. And then they will loan them out. And that's what they do. Don't be surprised if James Trafford goes on loan. Don't be surprised if that happens. Something like that. They're just scumbag of team. Absolute scumbag of team. They're actually one of the worst things to happen to the Premier League. They are. I'll be honest with you. They're actually one of the worst things to happen to the Premier League. Pep Guardiola is one of the worst things to happen to the Premier League. I'll argue that with anyone. He's making the league boring. And also what they've done to football in general. They're elite. They're a championship club. They're basically a sheep dressed in wolf's clothing. That's what Man City are. A sheep dressed in wolf's clothing. Basically, they are a championship club that had a bit of luck that hit the lottery. That's basically what happened with Man City. And what they do is what they're doing to football at the moment is completely trying to eradicate competition. Unfortunately for them, that it's not going to work out that way, because the cream always rises to the top, right? The cream will always rise to the top, and Man United will be back. The league will prosper from it, by the way. The league will be more profitable, by the way, when there is a competitive Man United. Let me tell you that right now. The league will be more profitable when there is a competitive Man United. And we are coming back. Big up, Milton. Ephraim, Sal, some fans amazing because Onana helped Baleba. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not too bothered about that. But what I would bring into the show, guys, in regards to the hidden force behind the Baleba deal, of course, as we know, is Leny Yoro. Leny Yoro has been in constant contact with Carlos Baleba in regards to a move to Manchester United. Of course, they were teammates at Lille. Of course, and Leny Yoro has been seen to be in contact with Carlos Baleba over this last couple of weeks. In particular, Carlos Baleba is desperate to move to Manchester United and hopes that Brighton and Hove Albion can reduce their asking price for him. Now, talking to Leny Yoro, he is only interested in Manchester United. Of course, Manchester City were interested in Carlos Baleba again. That's what Man City do. They were interested in Carlos Baleba a few days ago, but Baleba behind the scenes has again reiterated his desire to play for Manchester United, given his relationship with Onana and his relationship with Leny Yoro, of course. Onana at Cameroon and Leny Yoro at Lille, of course, a couple of years ago, guys. So, Baleba, does want Manchester United. The ball's in Manchester United's court. What Manchester United do, what the first bid is. The first bid is extremely important here because when Man United give in the first bid, that is going to give us an idea of how far, how high, how low Man United are going to go in this transfer. It is rumoured that Man United are willing to smash the transfer record for Baleba, and because they believe that he's the player that will change Manchester United's fortunes next season. And if Manchester United do sign Baleba, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has basically said that he expects a lot better from Man United if we bring in Carlos Baleba. Of course, we are a little bit worried because of the goalkeeper situation. We have every right to be worried about the goalkeeper situation, of course. Big up, Ephraim. Absolutely. Big up, everyone, of course. Big up, Amir. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Ciao. Donnarumma's wages are the biggest issue. I think this is the reason why United didn't sign him. Also, sometimes he's bozo moments in the game. Every goalkeeper has bozo moments in the game, Ciao. Every goalkeeper, he's still the best goalkeeper in the world. You pay for the best in the world. Man United have just lost 350,000 on Rashford wages. They can afford him. It's just that Manchester City are gone in for him. That is it. And since Man City have gone in for him, Man City have Champions League football and stuff like that. So, and Manchester City as well can concentrate primarily on Donnarumma and no one else. Man United are concentrating on Baleba at the moment. So they can't really do two things at the same time because the Donnarumma deal, dealing with PSG is going to be difficult as well. Of course. Absolutely. He has every goalkeeper. Even Schmeichel had a bozo moment, but ultimately he's the best goalkeeper in the world. Absolutely. Sal, Enrique is the most ruthless manager. Yeah, but you know what? You can be ruthless and you can be an idiotic as well. I guarantee you that PSG won't have as good season as this season next season. Watch. Tyberg. If City is really in for Donnarumma, we should forget about him. We can't offer what City can. We have a good project now, but keepers like Donnarumma are probably good-looking teams that are ready. Tyberg, he actually said that he would like to play for Man United. He wouldn't mind playing for Man United, but since Manchester City have come into the equation, he's not a Man United fan, and he will be looking after his own interest. Man United need a goalkeeper. We know Tyberg. We know the goalkeeper is so important. You know, I was raised on Peter Schmeichel, Van der Sar, and players like that, and they were game changers. They won us titles. Schmeichel won us titles. You know, and I just feel that Onana costs us titles. He costs us Champions League football. Look. Pound for pound, he's the worst goalkeeper in Premier League history for us. And he made the most goals, he conceded the most goals, mistakes leading to goals in Premier League history. I mean, this is bad. You know, we might as well get bloody, you know, a League One goalkeeper and put him in goal. It's ridiculous at the end of the day, you know. I just feel nervous about it. Benny, if Donnarumma is off the table, who would you go for? Senny Lamens for me. Absolutely, Senny Lamens. Good morning, Gray. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're well. Morning, all. 46 likes. Coming out, everyone. Smash the like button, subscribe button. To appreciation. Thank you so much, Gray. You legend. Thank you, mate. Absolute diamond. With what we are assembling, we don't need a goalkeeper because we outscore a lot of teams. That's low ball knowledge, Randy. It doesn't work like that, mate. You don't go out there and win 4-0 every single game. It doesn't work like that. The goalkeeper is extremely important. I would argue that Peter Schmeichel was probably our player of the season in the 98-99 season. He won us the final against Bayern, that's for sure. You know what I mean? And what I would say is that no, the goalkeeper is very, very very important. Very, very important. You can't smash teams every now and then. It's not going to work out like that. And especially Man United are not proven to smash teams. You need a good goalkeeper. That's the difference between 1-0 or 1-1 or 0-0 and 1-0 loss. That's the good goalkeeper. Absolutely not. You got to look at things from a footballing point of view. Absolutely. His name was Calamity James. Yep. Morning, Big Stevie. What's going on, my friend? Stevie77, good to see you, mate. Big up yourself. I know YouTube can be misleading, but after watching Baleba, I think he could be a game changer for us. Forget what I've said the other day. We could pay what it needs to bring him in. Big up, Tybo. Look, you know, football changes every day, doesn't it? At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Perfect. Sal, what's going on, Sovereign? How you doing? Good to see you. Big up, Sal. We got to get Baleba. Our midfield is a donut. oh yeah, a ring donut. With no jam in it. I would like Baleba to play alongside Mainu, but I don't see it happening. I see Bruno Baleba. You know what, first of all, I'm going to say it like this, mate. I agree with you 100%, and that's a great comment because I would love Mainu to play alongside Baleba, but it won't happen. It won't happen. It will be Bruno. It will be Bruno. Absolutely. We got a calamity at Onana. Absolutely. And that is what? How many games did he cost us last season? Cost us Europa League final. Goalkeeper's important. Absolutely, guys. Guys, I want to thank everyone who's joined me today, of course. You absolute legends. Sorry I can't get through everyone's comments, of course. Hundreds of comments today. Big up everyone, of course. You absolute legends. Big up Stephanie. Big up everyone. Big up who joined me this morning, of course, the Breaking Dawners, everyone in the stream. Guys, have a great day. I will be back later on for Chatterbox, of course. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also put your notifications on in case I go live later on, of course, guys. Lots going on the channel. Channel is progressing, guys. I hope you like the new setup. Hope you like everything about the channel. Guys, any advice, any feedback is welcome. Absolutely. And thank you, everyone who joins me every day on the show, guys. Keep it Stretford Post, guys. Keep it Stretford Post. It's a place to be, guys. Absolutely. We are growing. We're gonna get there, guys. We're gonna grow immensely as this community gets larger and larger, of course, guys. Have a great day, great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner, and I will see you later for Chatterbox if nothing else breaks. Take it easy, guys. Much love. Peace.